Kuzampo, welcome to the second segment of our seminar talk on the Kalachakra Tantra. This is a part of the Global Peace Prayer Festival where we have Dr. Niraj Kumar who will talk about the Kalachakra Tantra, and he is also a scholar and the Kalachakra Tantra translator. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you very much. And Kuju Janpo, Bhutan once again.
So, today we will be discussing on the chapter 2, the content of the Kalachakra Tantra, and the inner world, where generally people think Adhyatma means spirituality, but here Adhyatma is the sense of inner world of subtle anatomy. The very first shokla mentions that body is the measure of the universe, Vishwamanam se deha. Can you kindly summarize how the external world has been mapped onto the internal body?
Thank you, Yangchin. In the first interview, we already had a bit of discussion on how the body is the map of the cosmos. So the same formula keep repeating throughout the Tantra, that Vismanang cha dehi. So you can measure the whole cosmos within body. And in the previous interview, I had already discussed a bit about how you can find the planets within your body, the constellations. Here, if you go in detail, because the second chapter also talks about a bit of alphabets, phonemes, and to understand that Sanskrit phonetics is very important to understand this tantra. So all these phonetics also, the alphabet, those arise within our human body. Like Kakha Ganga, these consonant, the first kavarg, one say ka series of consonant, that arises here at the throat. Those are the guttural consonants. And then cha cha ja cha chavarga, cha cha ja cha iya, those arises within a body at the palate, and then from the from the cerebral side, Muldhan, the tavarg arises, and from the lips, pavarg arises, and from the teeth, dental. So these are the tavargs. So these are the 5 series of consonants arising from different portions of our mouth. Apart from that, we have 5 vowels. We had discussed in the Swarodaya section, 5 primary vowels, and then those becomes once those primary vowels are multiplied to each other, the dirgha, the long, one is short primary and then long primary vowels. So that way there are 10 primary vowels, and then there is a series of multiplication of these primary vowels with other one vowel multiplying with remaining 4 primary vowels. So the guna series of the vowels that comes up. Then there is Vriddhi vowels, and we have Yanades, the semi vowels series. So we have 5, 10, or 30 vowels here. So again, these have been located arising from different portions of our like mouth and the throat, and so the whole universe. Basically, if you see the alphabet, this language, phonetics, sound that connects the inner world to the outer world. So this is the beauty. So if until unless we understand this linguistic universe, so you cannot link the outer world with the inner world. So like first chapter was on the outer world, understanding external cosmology, Chakraval system, and Kalki, and these things. So this chapter is focused on life, how life goes on, the prana, and different kind of winds, the subtle anatomy of the channels, the drops, and these things. So if the first chapter dealt with the physical universe, so I say the second chapter deals with the biological universe. So this is the thing. And otherwise, in my second volume, all the mappings I have already done, which portion of the body contain what and what not. It's a quite detailed thing.
You have mentioned in your second volume that an individual passes through 10 stages of avatara within, yes, within his lifetime. So can you please share your findings on how you have linked it with now discarded Ernest Haeckel law of biological evolution?
During our school days, we all used to study what are the evidences for evolution, and we still remember how embryology we would study like embryo takes shape of first fish and then tortoise and something like that. So that was Ernest Haeckel's theory of recapitulation, that one recapitulates species evolution in one's lifetime. So or similarly here in Kalachakra, it is mentioned that an individual during his lifetime he passes through 10 stages of avatara. So here see Lord Buddha has already been included as ninth avatara and Kalki at the 10th avatara, and we are talking about a text of the 11th century. So how those stages of avatara arises in one's life, that is very interesting. Within the during embryonic phase, we pass through one the phase of initially it is fish Matsya avatara, the first avatara of Vishnu, and then we have Vara Kurma avatara, turtle. Then we have Vara avatara, and then we have Narsimha avatara. So this is interesting. Then lion man, and Vishnu took avatara in the form of Narsimha and helped Prahlad to kill the demon Hiranyakashyap, for which we celebrate Holi in India. So Narsimha Avatara, because it's a lion, the human phase of the Avatara. So it's said that in the form of Narsimha, a baby within the womb, so he uses his hands and split open the womb of the mother and comes out, and then he cried like a lion. So that is Narsimha Avatara. And then it's the dwarf Vaman Avatara, when he starts walking, so that is the dwarf Vaman Avatara. And thereafter when his teeth start falling, that is the Parsuram, because Parsuram carries axe. As if someone is using axe and taking off the teeth. So that is Parsuram Avatara. From the age of around 8 to 16 years, that is the Rama Avatara. And from the age of 16, when one becomes adolescent, so this is the Krishna Avatara. And in the old age, one becomes mature, so that is the Buddha Avatara, and at the death is Kalki Avatara. So interestingly, every individual has not only capacity of enlightenment but also passing through the 10 avatara of Vaishnavism. So I feel like the composer of the Tantra, he tried to fuse Vaishnavism with the Buddhist philosophy and trying to bring a kind of synthesis between the two philosophies.
Yes, and
माइंड का स्टॉक खत्म हो जाता है.
I can.
It's not easy thing, no. See, everything is so complex, no.
Yeah, the words also, it's very difficult. Okay. Ready? Start it.
ये नहीं ना दिखेगा यहाँ. यार ये नहीं दिखना चाहिए ज़्यादा, नहीं तो मैं भी हाथ में पकड़ लूँगा.
That one just like it's focusing on me. So interestingly, in your second chapter, in these sessions, the doctrine of four bodies within one's lifetime from the embryonic stage until death has been described in your second chapter. Can you please kindly throw some more light on this?
As we are aware that when this Mahayana phase of Buddhism started, at that time the doctrine of three bodies, Trikaya, was propounded in Buddhism, and that was like Buddha had these three layers of the bodies: Dharmakaya, pure Dharma body, and then Sambhogakaya, the enjoyment body, in which Dhyani Buddha live in different kind of pure lands. And then Nirman Kaya, emanation body, like Sakyamuni Buddha was the emanation body, and he was born here. But Amitabha is the Dhyani Buddha, from whom whose emanation was Sakyamuni Buddha. So Amitabha was the enjoyment body, Sambhog Kaya. Like it is said that Matliya will come. Then Matliya is the emanation, Nirman Kaya of Amok Siddhi Dhyani Buddha, who is in Sambhog Kaya. So this doctrine of three bodies were there in Mahayana, but in Vajrayana and later in the Kalchakriyana, the concept of the fourth body came, that is Sahajyana, or it is also Suddha Kaya. So Sahaj Kaya or Suddha Kaya, pure body. So what this in this chapter, what they have done, they have mapped all these four bodies, first within the growth within embryonic phase in the inside the womb, and also outside once someone is born. So when there is conception, so from conception till to a second month, so it's the stage of the pure body. And from second month till all the aggregates arises, and this sensation come till 6 months. So that is the Dharmakaya. And then from 6 months till birth, it is the Sambhogkaya, enjoyment body. And then from birth till death, that is the Nirmankaya, emanation body. That is based on the embryonic phase. But if you, then there is another external four body system. So when someone is born, so from birth till teething, that is almost 6-7 months. So this is the pure body, Suddhakaya. And then from teething to first falling of teeth, so that is the Dharmakaya, around 8 years. And from falling of teeth till 16 year of age, when one becomes adolescent and the sexual maturity arises, so that is the Sambhog Kaya. And thereafter is Nirman Kaya, because then one has the capacity, to generate human beings like oneself. So this is, so these four body system has been mapped both before birth also and after birth also.
Okay. So, we just finished talking about the body. Now, I've also noticed in your chapter that you have mentioned and talked about the sense. That's the sense organs, like activities and actions of the organs that have been mapped with various elements like space, then fire, water, earth, and so forth. Can you please elucidate more on this for our audience?
Yes, see, in Kalachakra system, just like we have another fourth body, Sahajkaya. So similarly, we have additional element, 6 element. Generally, we know there are 5 elements, space, then wind, and then fire, water, and earth. But then Kalachakra adds 6 element, and that is no wisdom. So wisdom is also an element, and wisdom is also an aggregate. So we know there are 5 Askandhas in Buddhist philosophy, but Kalachakra adds the 6th wisdom. Then it becomes 6 by 6 kind of pixel on which they map the reality. So now, if you see all our senses, sensory organs, and then actions, activities, and action organs. So 6 in each category. These have been mapped against these 6 elements. So, if I talk about action, like 6 major actions. So, speaking, that is mapped against earth element, grasping, holding something, that is mapped against water element, then the movement by feet, that is mapped against fire element. So, it's like that. So, all your 6 sense organs, 6 senses, 6 action organs, all are mapped against 6 elements, one each. And thereafter, it's interesting that even within those elements, there are coupling, like the elements to have friendship and neutrality. So that we'll be discussing.
Okay. So in your chapter, the second chapter further postulates 10 kinds of winds that propel different biological activities. So on this, could you please highlight along with these elemental nature for those winds?
See, in the previous interview, I was talking about how within biological world there is this the prana, the wind always flowing, and in the outer world it is prava. But within biological world, prana is only one of the winds. There are 10 winds. So what are those? Prana is always upward flowing. It flows above navel. And then the reverse is apan wind. Apan, so it flows downwards. So like urination, defecation. So these are all because of the apan wind, because it pulls down and releases the things. So, and this prana and apana wind are very important for the yogic practices. The whole yoga tradition is based on modulating these two winds only. Apart from that, we have udan wind, like a wind. One wants to sing or dance, so udan gives that propensity to fly and lightness of the body.
Yes.
Then we have saman wind. Saman is like that helps in digestion and distributing the rasa throughout the body. We have other minor winds like we have one nag wind. So nag helps in belching. You must have seen these kids and we have to pat their back for belching. Yes. So that is the function of the naga winds. We have yawning, that is the functioning of devdat wing. Then we have crickle, this winking of eye, that occurs because of this crickle wing. And so then there is one Dhananjay wing. So this Dhananjay wing, wind that is not destroyed, and that helps in taking the bhavang in Theravada, which helps in reincarnation, because there is no soul in Buddhism. So how things reincarnate, it is the bhavang, the sum total of the bhava. And so this Dhananjay winds. So at the time of death, there is a cessation consciousness, and that carried bhavang, and at the time of birth there is birth consciousness. So okay, so this the pati is sandhi consciousness at the time of birth. So this is the Dhananjay wind which works, so that operates even after death. So these are the 10 winds. And again the winds too have elemental quality, because they have put these 6 elements like a basic framework, and then map everything here.
So since you already talked about this wind and all, can you please talk more on the structures of 6 chakras and lineage that you have mentioned in your chapters?
Like we were just discussing that here everything is in a 6 by 6 structure. So similarly we have 6 chakras in the Kalachakra system, and apart from those 6 chakras there are 6 family channels, and Dhyani Buddhas are also 6 here, not 5. Yeah. In other tradition is 5 Buddhas, but here there is additional Vajrasattva. So each of the 6 chakras, basically those get embodied as one of the Dhyani Buddhas. Later we will see in the chapter 4. So what are these 6 chakras, and what is its structure? And again it's also based on mathematics only. So we have at the lowest level, it is a secret chakra, Guhi chakra. It has 32 channels. Okay, but those 32 channels are not in in one go. They are in 3 concentric circles. So innermost there are 6 channels, then there are 10 channels, and then there are 16 channels. That makes it 32. The 6 channels, the innermost, I have termed it switch channels in my book, because these are very important. It is these 6 channels which control all the 6 chakras also, including itself. So these are the switch channels, because if they get off, a person dies. And if you fuse these channels, you can never die. So the whole yoga is finally that can you short circuit these 6 channels. And then there are the 10 channels that control the 10 winds, and the 16 channels which control 16 phases of moon, that is production of bodhicitta here at the forehead. So above that we have a navel chakra. There are 64 channels here, but the 64 is only outermost. So 60 channels carry the nadi. In our daytime, 24 hours, there are 60 nadis. So nadi had two meaning. Nadi is also channel and nadi is also computation of time. So it had a dual meaning here. So, and 4 are the empty channels. So out of 64, 4 are empty channels that carry, sunyat, nothing. And 60 are the but within it also there are 3 more, concentric circles that I'm not going to explain here. It's in books. Then we have the heart. There are 8 nadis here. And then at throat, we have 32 channels. At forehead, we have 16. And at this crown, usnis, we have 4 channels. So if you sum total, it comes to 156 channels. And then apart from these major 156 channels, there are 6 family channels, and all these are at navel only. They join at the bulbous, and it's all subtle anatomy. It's not actual physical anatomy. Because here prana is flowing, and prana is not something physical which scientists have discovered as of now. So as in navel, these 3 channels, one is from right side, one is from left side, and one is this madhyama, which is called avdhuti in the tantra. So they come to navel, and below navel they change the direction. So right channel of the sun, this is a sun channel, right? Moon channel is left, and the central channel avdhuti is Rahu. So this right channel that shifts side, and it becomes left below the navel. And the central channel avdhuti, that does not go in as the middle channel below navel, but it takes rightward turn, and it becomes a bit curved. It is known as sankhini, which carry bodhicitta and everything. And then the left channel, the moon channel, lunar channel, that comes down, and from left it comes at the center. So these 6 channels also represent 6 dhyani buddhas. So it's the modulation of these 6 channels at navel, through which the whole practice of yoga and Kalachakra is being done.
So, the time has mapped on different chakras and the joints, right? So, how accurate do you think this mapping is?
This is a complex question because we have not actually discovered these channels. These are not actual channels. These are only part of subtle anatomy. But I can say that the structure which they have created, that explains a lot of things in the human life and growth, and finally culminating into death. So these chakras, they map time at different layers. So see, at heart, we have got 8 channels, and there are 7 weekdays. So at heart, it is a weekday which is mapped. Okay. At forehead, it's a 16 phases of the moon. The lunar days mapped here. At throat, you have 28 days of the lunar month. So that is mapped here. There are constellations. At here, there are 4 channels at the crown, and there are 4 twilights in a day. 4 sandhya, twilight. So these are mapped here, and these are very important, because it is said that twilight is neither night nor day. So it's the junction. And in Kal Chakra, you remember, it's junction that make things function. Okay. So like all these joints are very important in Kal Chakra, even these finger joints. So joining is very important. It may be of solar or lunar channel, it may be of Kal Chakra and Vishwa Mata, or it may be day and night. So Sandhya is the joining of day and night, and it is at the Sandhya twilight when you have this production of bodhicitta, which is stored at the forehead. So these 4 trilli. Then we just discussed at the navel we have 16 nadis, and so that way on these joints we have all these different zodiac and the solar month here.
Yeah.
So we have 12 joints, 3, 3 and 3 each. So these are the 12 solar month. And these joints, these knuckles of our fingers and toes, so these are for the panipal. Panipal are the liptas which form one nadi, like 60 lipta form one nadi and 60 nadi form one day. So every joint, if you see that
Has a function.
corresponds to one of the computation of flow of time.
How has the Tantra mapped the 4 bodies over 6 chakras? There is a mention of Kaya, that means the body, and the mental state duality in your commentary over this chapter. Can you please explain further?
We just discussed that how in this Tantra, this four body doctrine came, Chaturkaya doctrine, and then that was mapped within our womb stage and after our birth. But those 4 bodies have also been mapped against our these 6 chakras. So, see, this Sahaj body, the innate body or the pure body, it's all synonymous. So, that is at crown, at navel, and at the secret chakra, the lowermost. And then the dharma body, dharmakaya, that is at heart. Then we have enjoyment body, sambhogkaya, that is at throat. And we have emanation body, nirman kaya, that is at this forehead, lalat chakra. So this is how, so one body, that is sahaj body, innate body, which has been propounded only in this tantra, that has been mapped against 3 chakras. And now coming to that duality of body and mental state, this is very interesting. I tell you, like see, there is mapping of elements here. Earth is mapped against with wind, and water is mapped with fire, and the 6th element gnosis is mapped with space. And if you see the color scheme, so then only we can understand even mandala. So earth has a color of yellow, so that is mapped against wind, that has black color. So yellow and black, that have been mapped together, white and red, that forms a pair, and green and blue, that forms a pair. In a body, now if we take, I have explained it in my second volume, in our body, if you have a male body, so my sexual maturity takes place at the age of 16. This is very interesting. So I am male, and maturity taking place at the 16th year, which is the phase of moon. And if you have a female body, and the sexual maturity, that comes at the age of 12. And that 12 is the phase of sun, because sun passes through 12 zodiac. So it's interesting. A man's body had the bhav, mental state of, feminine, and a female body has a mental state of masculine. So that kind of non-duality, you know, so this you see even within elements, within our human bodies, within different categories. So this beauty of the tantra, that it finds non-duality everywhere. So that is very, very interesting.
So, unlike in your first chapter, this second chapter you have mentioned about Kalki, that Kalki is within one's own body, and that the prophecy of war against Barbarian, as described in the first chapter, that has shown that as an internal battle against ignorance. So, what do you think the prophecy of war in Maka is just? Is it just an illusion as mentioned in the Tantra?
Whenever this theme of Kalachakra comes up, so you will find on social media people using some referring to Kalachakra Tantra, and then ranting a lot about Islam, that Kalachakra had this prophecy of a war against Islam and these things. But it's not that much correct. The first chapter has some prophecy about Kalki waging war against a barbarian king. It had not mentioned Islam anywhere. But in the second chapter, that clarifies the situation. What is Kalki? So Kalki, there are three verses in the second chapter, 48, 49 and 50, which describes this internal mechanism of the battle against, the barbarian tendency. So it mentioned that Samyak Jnanam hi Kalki. That means the right knowledge is Kalki. So Kalki is not something outside in Makkah or Baghdad. It's the right knowledge. And who is the barbarian? It is the Mara. It is that tendency of adharma. So the real battle is within body. Therefore, the Tantra mentions whatsoever has been stated about external battle, that means in the first chapter, so that all is just illusory. Actual battle is within yourself. It's by beholding the right knowledge. And in the first chapter, it is mentioned that Kalki has got, Chaturanga army, fourfold army. He has got elephants, horses, chariots, and the foot soldiers. But here it is mentioned that these Chatur Brahm Bihar, Karuna, Maitri, Mudita, and Upeksha. These form that constitute the Chaturanga army, fourfold army of the Kalki. And Ashwathama, which has been mentioned in the first chapter, there will be a battle between Hanuman and Ashwathama. So here it is mentioned Ashwathama is nothing else than avidya, so ignorance. So I think many stories and have cropped up with regard to this prophecy of Kalachakra. So we should analyze it with open mind. So here the barbaric tendency is the theme rather than any particular specific religion belonging to any geographical locale.
Okay. So I have noticed in your second chapter that there's an interesting mention of mandala of 1,620 deities that has been mentioned in your second chapter. Have you ever seen such a mandala during your research?
No, I never saw it, and I've been trying, and I've been discussing with several Rinpoche from Jonang tradition also whether they have seen it. So even they have not seen. And if you see the main mandala of the Kalachakra, that has which is quite popular and used in empowerment ceremonies. These have 720 deities, apart from the central deity of Kalachakra and Vishnu Mata, which are in non-dual union. So this number 720 comes from movement of the sun across 12 zodiacs. In each zodiac, there are 60 nadis. So when sun moves across this in 1 year, so it passes through these 720 zodiacs, 720 nadis, zodiac nadis. So that has been embodied and deified as 720 deities here. Now the second chapter of the Tantra gives a number Kha Kar Nripati, and again we have to read it. It's in Bhut Sankhya notation. Kha is space, number 0. Kar is hands, number 2, and Nripati is king, number 16. So when you read it in reverse, it becomes 1620. It mentions that in the original Tantra, Adi Buddha Tantra, which has been abridged into present Kalachakra Tantra. So there is mandala of 1620 deities, it mentions. So I wanted to explore, I could not find it, but then I realized that this is basically a mandala based on movement of moon. Moon passes through 27 constellations in its one complete circle. So each constellation has again 60 lunar nadis. So if you multiply 60 and 27, that becomes 1620. So the mandala are having 16-20 deities. So that will be a mandala which will be based on lunar movement, and that is the original vision of the composer of the Kalachakra Tantra. And when I in the introduction I had already mentioned that Kalachakra Tantra is basically Yogini Tantra, and it is devoted to the feminine, because out of 720 deities, 560 deities are female deity.
deities.
So I think the original tantra that was and mandala also, that was more female based.
So, Doctor, there's a long section of prognosis of signs of death in your chapter. So, can you please summarize something based on the count of breath that one can calculate at the time of the death? And also, can a yogi who can see the impending signs of death short circuit death itself?
Or see, overcoming death, that is a dream of mankind. But this tantra mentioned it had tried to analyze death as a biomechanical process, and that can you can predict when your death is going to occur just by flow of breath in the right or left nostril. So all these things I've discussed in detail in my book. And once a yogi realizes when death is coming, he can reverse either the signs, or second thing is even he can short circuit death by certain yogic processes, because death occurs due to once the apana winds that enters the lowermost, that Sankhni channel which we were discussing. So if you force prana into Sankhni channel or prana into the switch nadi, switch channels in the secret nadi, then you can short circuit death. So there are mechanisms which I have discussed in the book, and I just wish that people should not try it at home without guidance of an accomplished yogi.
So the Tantra has explained the death merely as a very biomechanical process in which winds and channels and bindus can be modulated for the benefit of dharmic. Dharmic being. Okay.
Like apana wind flows only below navel and it's downward. But if you force apana wind above navel and you bring it here to your crown chakra, then it can force bodhicitta to come down, and you can have that nectar within body, and the signs of aging, those can be reversed, and these things. So these processes are there.
So scholars like Hatha Yoga and other scholars, and including yourself, you all have been arguing that Hatha Yoga, this term has been used for the first time in this second chapter of your Tantra, and his commentary on the Vimal Prabha. So which verse of this chapter the term appears, and in what context?
I think it is the 119th verse of this second chapter during that section. So the text mentions about Hat, not Hat Yoga as a term, how you can forcibly bring your prana down, prana wind, and apana, you pull it upward. And when both, meet at the navel, then there will be friction, and the energy chandali will awaken. So in that kind, and this is what is the whole mechanism of Hat Yoga is. So that has been fully discussed in this tantra, and they have used the term Hat. Vimal Prabha used the term Hat Yoga. So many scholars started circulating that Hat Yoga was used for the first time in one of the texts, Amrit Siddhi, but no, this text predates Amrit Siddhi by several centuries.
Okay. So I think there is a long section on the aromatics. That is the study of aromatic substances. What do you think, or what do you find unique items in the list, and what kind of aromatic preparations are being done during the time of composition of this tantra?
Again, it's a very interesting, because the substances which have been mentioned here in this section, the fragrant substances. So for this modern perfumery industry, that will be very helpful, But one interesting fragrant substance with the Tantra mentioned, that is ambri. And ambri is ambergris, which is we say this is the vomit of the whale, very costly. But at that time they believed that some huge mythical bird, so they would just defecate and that becomes ambri in the ocean. Now this ambri is found only in Bay of Bengal near Andaman Nicobar. So that also showed that the composer of Tantra was aware about ambri. That means this Tantra was composed around this region only, and not somewhere in Central Asia or Siberia. And apart from that, we have got a lot of material on even the body massage, and then different kind of aroma for fragrant bath. So it's almost and very structured. Again, putting it into that 6 by 6 categories, and finally it's also mathematical, because you have to put particular amount of substance, aromatic substance in each box, so that the sum total is only this number, say 24 or 15. So again, this preparation of aromatic substances had to be very mathematical.
So the last section, critiques very different religious philosophies like Savioism, Vaishnavism, and then Islam and Jainism, and etc., etc. And it also establishes the major characteristics of Kalachakra Tantra. What is your insights on this?
The last 20 verses in this chapter, from 161 to 180, that develops a critique of other systems, not only among say Islam or Hinduism, Jainism, Charvak, materialism, that was materialism, but also against other philosophy of Buddhism. So here it has also explained what are the characteristics or main propositions of the Kalachakra. So they mention this fourth body doctrine of the Sahaj Kaya, and then the conscious emptiness, Ajar, the Sunyat. So that is interesting. So that way they have listed what are the character, what constitutes Kalachakra and how it is different from other systems.
Okay, doctor, this will be my final question to you. You just mentioned that the Tantra describes the discourse of Raman. So is it for the first time that any index text describes the basic philosophy of Islam?
Yes. In the verse 164, while critiquing different philosophies and worldviews, so it talks about the religion of Rahman, that is Islam. So this is the first text where critique of the philosophy of Islam has been made. So that way this text is unique, because for the first time it is using the term Hatha Yoga. For the first time it is discussing Islamic philosophy, and so that way there are so many layers within Kalachakra. It's almost impossible to capture it in a single interview. So I think we need to continue these discussions again on second chapter on different aspects further.
Okay. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for also simplifying the second chapter for us. Thank you so much. This was the second segment of the Kalachakra Tantra. Stay tuned for the next segment, where in the next segment, Doctor and I will discuss more on the Kalachakra Tantra, but on the chapter 3. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Yangchen.